right guys, well today is, as I like to say, a beautiful day. Welcome back. What we've got in front of us is something brand new to me that I've been looking at for a really long time, and I've been just waiting for that perfect moment to pull the plug on my idea and get it here in front of me. So what do we have here? We have a Wallenstein FX85. This is a skidding winch. This goes on the back of my tractor and gets powered off my PTO. I've been looking at these winches for quite a while, these skidding winches here, and I've been trying to narrow down amongst all the options to one that was going to best suit me. This is a Wallenstein winch, but there's tons of options out there. I looked at a variety of them. I looked at Farmies, I looked at Norse, I looked at Igland, which is essentially the same as the Norse. I looked at the Fransgard, I looked at the Tai Fu, or Taj Fun as some of you guys will pronounce it. I've looked at a variety of them, and I tried to come up with the one that was going to best suit me, the one that had the best reviews, the one that was going to last. Because let's face it, these things are not cheap. After talking to many fine folks, after reading the reviews, after calling the companies, I came up with the Wallenstein FX85 because it is made relatively local to me. FX85, this thing is made a few hours from me here in Ontario, Canada. If I need parts for it down the road, hope nothing ever breaks, but let's face it, something will wear out, I could simply drive there and pick it up. I don't have to worry about stuff being shipped to me from who knows where. I can go and talk to the people who built this. I can get the right parts at the right time. That was ultimately the deciding factor for me. That's why it's sitting right here in front of me, and that's why we're about to cut into it. Glad you guys are here. Let's see what it's all about. All right, let's have a little look-see. This is my very first look, so I'm kind of excited here. It certainly wrapped well, kept all the elements out. We had a pretty big rain last night and bone dry in there. Some of you guys who've been around the channel for a while have probably seen another winch that I've been using, and it's not a winch that goes on the tractor, it's a portable winch. My Lewis winch, and I've got it right over here. This winch is not going to be getting replaced, it's going to be getting added to, meaning I'm now going to have another tool that I can use in addition to this one. This here is my Lewis winch, it's the orange part here. More or less it's just a smaller setup and obviously less powerful, smaller diameter cable. This does a lot of similar things, it hauls on things, just not with the same force. This is my 92cc Husqvarna power head that powers that winch. You guys would have seen this in action way deep in the bush last winter. I'm going to continue doing that, so this is not going away. We just have another tool now for a different application where I'm going to be using that when the tractor can reach it. And when it can't, like with the snowmobile deep in the woods, then the Lewis winch with the Husqvarna is going to be coming back out. So stay tuned for that. Check out the other videos I have with that if you've never seen a chainsaw winch before. It's quite the setup. All right guys, well, we got it unboxed. We got a big pile of wood there, and that was half the battle, getting that wood frame off. They sure boxed it up nice. I had to really haul on some of those pieces to get them off. Anyways, first perspective here, what I can tell you is I'm quite impressed with the welds on this thing. You guys can have a look. The welds are quite good. And if we look down here, you see they're nice beads all the way along. The welds don't look like they were Mickey Mouse welded like I might do. They were done by a professional. You can also tell the paint is really solid on this, and the steel thickness they chose to use in places is really thick. Like, have a look down here. Look at that piece right there. Even these pieces right here, nice and thick. I'm liking that so far. So overall, very impressed from the first look. You guys can see some of the ropes they come with. They're good quality. They're not too cheap. They're not going to wear out immediately. So this rope here, I'm going to pull on that to engage the clutch, which will pull in the cable, which if we have a look at, is that ever thick. So that is going to do all the work. On this side, we got the other rope. There it is there. This rope will engage the brake. So after I pull in some logs from who knows where, I don't have to take the logs off the winch cable and hook it on these hooks. I can just leave the logs right on this winch cable, engage the brake, and then I can skid with that log on that winch cable. So that's very convenient, will save me some time. Looking around the back here, you can sort of get an idea what's inside there. Obviously, we're not going to dive in there quite yet, but you can see there's the drum in there, and the clutch will be in there, and all the internal components. Here's the PTO. So this is where I'm going to hook up the PTO. Here is the actual PTO down below. You can see our pins here. We've got 2 positions for it, which is kind of nice. And another thing I like that they have is the chain, so you're not going to lose track of this guy on the far side. Inside here, I think we've got our chains. Let's have a look, see what we got here. Come on, out of there. I think these are 5/16 inch chains. Get out of there. Yeah, I really like these ends on them. I have this on some of my other skidding chains, so this is going to be really nice. Basically, it's a slip hook that when you hook it over the chain, this hook can still tighten down on the log. So, like that. I think these are, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're 7 feet long. Yeah, 7 feet long. This is very convenient as well. You guys would have seen me make these on some of my other lengths of chain. I pretty much mimicked these types of chains. This allows you to get right underneath the log without having to try to fish your hand under with just a link of a chain. So we got 2 of these chains here, and that's going to make things very convenient. And just before I go any further, this is where you can hook those chains into. You got 4 of these slots. And if you can imagine, if you've got this hooked up to a chain and you don't want to skid off the cable, you could simply put this chain around the log, and you can just run it through that hole, and you guys can see it grabs on there. All right, so that's kind of nice. Some other things that are nice down here. One of the reasons that I like this Wallenstein model, it came with the receiver at the far side here. This allows me to put a ball on here that I can tow a trailer with, and also makes it so I don't have to take the winch off the tractor to move stuff around the yard. And so that's quite a convenient setup. Looking up top here, what do we got there? Register your product, get your warranty. Very good point about warranty. This has a 5-year warranty. That in itself was worth a lot to me. One of the deciding factors that made this thing come home with me. So I got to do a few things here. That's got a button up there. I'm going to have to put this screen, as you guys can see, the safety screen, that's going to have to button up right here. So I'm going to be doing that here shortly. Here's my top link pin. Perfect. I think what we're going to do first and foremost, before we go any further, is I'm going to put this on the tractor, see what it looks like. I'm thinking it's going to fit perfect, but you never know until you get it on there. So let's go ahead, hook this up to the tractor. I'm going to put the PTO on another time. That's going to involve some measuring probably. But from a first perspective, I got to say, this thing is going to do some work. Let's just hope I'm up to it. Here we go. Okay. I think we're good to go. Let's fire her up, lift her up, and see what it looks like. Well, turns out it's secured to the base too. Real well. I think we're just gonna leave it like that for now. I don't have a screwdriver out here. Let's just have one last look at it before we call it quits here today. I'd say that looks pretty much, well, it's leaning in a bit, so I'll extend the top link just a little bit. I tried to put the lower links in the lowest position. That way I have more up travel if I need to. I have barely raised the three-point hitch at all. And as you can see, there's a fair good distance from the ground up to the bottom. That's going to allow it to get over lots of obstacles when I'm skidding. My first instinct with this thing, it is very well built and it looks great on this tractor. I'm very excited to put that 8,500 pounds of pulling force to action. And I think it's going to be more than I expected, and it's probably going to be one of those tools that I wish I bought years earlier. Anyways, guys, I'm glad you checked this out with me. I'm really excited to get out in the bush and put this into action. You're going to see this on a lot of upcoming episodes because I can just about imagine the jobs I've got in store for this. You guys all take care out there. Be well. See you next time. Guys, one last thing. If you like this video, do me that favor. Give it the thumbs up. That'll make sure more people get to see it. And for everyone out there who's brand new, welcome aboard. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. See you guys all next time.